Hey, what's up guys, it's Texumer talking to you here. And in today's video, I want to talk about the M3 chip, the M3 MacBook Air, the M3 iMac, the Mac Pro, which Macs should we expect on WWDC 2023. Because tons of leaks have been actually leaking about the M3 Macs being announced in WWDC. But not that much leaks have been talking about the Mac Pro. And that's something that I actually suspected a while ago. Because the M3 MacBook Air normally would come out on WWDC, according to Apple's schedule. Because if you think about it, the M2 MacBook Air came WWDC 2022, and the M1 chip, or the Apple Silicon transition, was first announced on WWDC 2020. Then the M1 chip was announced later down that year. So it's normal that Apple actually likes to announce their M1 chips, their M2 chips, and M3 chips, their new generation of Apple Silicon to the new developers on WWDC. So yes, I'm expecting the M3 MacBook Air, as well as other computers with the M3 chip. Maybe another M3 MacBook Pro, maybe even the M3 iMac. I'm not expecting the M3 Mac Mini to come out because the M2 Mac Mini came less than a year ago. Actually, like 3 months ago, so it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, which computers will we get with the M3 chip? And are you excited? If you are, do not forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. So, let's first talk about the M3 chip in general. Before we talk about the hardware that it will come out, I do want to talk about the M3 chip. Because the M3 chip, it's going to be a new leap for Apple Silicon. This is going to be a 3nm chip. And so, with a 3nm chip, you are getting a smaller node. This smaller node would be notable for increasing the efficiency and the performance of this chip. Not just like the M2 did to the M1, while increasing the number of cores and supercharging those cores will give you more performance. No, the transistors themselves are going to get smaller. And with this, you can pack more transistors, and with this, you're getting more performance with more efficiency. So it's going to be a double win for Apple and our consumers. So yeah, I'm really excited. Because if you think about it, the M3 MacBook Air is going to be the same M2 MacBook Air design with the M3 chip. The M3 iMac is going to be the same design of the iMac with an M3 chip. The M3 MacBook Pro is going to be the same design as the M2 MacBook Pro with the M3 chip. So, if you think about it, these are going to be the same designs, but with better efficiency and performance. With this, we can expect better battery with at the same time having more performance. This is going to be everyone's dreams, because with the same design, with more efficiency, we are getting way better battery life. And Apple Silicon already has insane battery. The M3 MacBook Air would probably last 2-3 hours more than the M2 MacBook Air, and the current M2 MacBook Air lasts you 18 hours. So if it can last you even more than that, it's going to tap in territory of the 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 or the M2 Max. This is going to be insane battery life, and I cannot expect to see the huge gains that the M3 chip brings. Other than that, I also expect more GPU and more CPU power to the base M3. So if this happens, maybe, just maybe, the base M3 will be more powerful even than the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips. This is going to get crazy, the performance of these chips. Also, all of the M3 improvements will also be tapped in to the iPhone already, because the A17 chip will also feature all of these improvements from the M3 chip. So I'm really excited. But in which machines will the M3 chip be announced? Well, I think the first two we should expect for sure is the M2 MacBook Air, so the MacBook Air, and the MacBook Pro, the 13-inch model. I think Apple will upgrade these two computers and give it the M3 chip. These two computers are always the first two computers to get the new Apple Silicon chips. They are the base models, and Apple likes to give it. The M2, they did it first on WWDC 2022, they gave it the M2 chip, and now on WWDC 2023, I do believe they will give it the M3 chip for these two computers. Then, I do believe we are also getting an M3 iMac, but not just now. I don't think Apple will announce the M3 iMac together with these two computers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but if they don't, I also expect this computer to be upgraded later down the year. Mark Gurman has been talking about new iMac coming for actually a while, and so makes sense with the launch of the M3 chip that Apple wants to update its actually very late M1 iMac to this. Apple did not give the M2 chip to the iMac, they just gave it the M1. So yeah, maybe it's time to give it the M3. New silicon to show people that you did not abandon your iMac. So yeah, all of these are the new hardware that I'm expecting for WWDC in terms of the M3 chip. Of course, if you don't know, the M3 MacBook Air will feature two sizes, the 13-inch and the 15-inch. The 15-inch MacBook Air is going to be the new size for the MacBook lineup, and this MacBook Air is going to be insane value. It's probably going to cost around $1,500 to $1,600. It's going to have a bigger display, it's going to have a bigger chassis, better battery life, better speakers. Imagine a stripped-down version of the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Just like the 13-inch MacBook Air, the M2 MacBook Air, is to the M2 Pro, MacBook Pro 14-inch. So I'm really excited to see this because tons of people actually like big computers but don't have the money to buy the 16-inch MacBook Pro. So yes, I'm really excited and I think these computers will sell like hotcakes. Then the M3 MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, is going to feature the same design that Apple has been launching with the M1, the M2. This is the old design from the older generation, the 2016 generation of the MacBook Pros. It's going to have probably the touch bar still. So if you like that design, you have another opportunity to get an even more performance, even more power efficient machine. Finally, the M1 iMac is going to have the M3 chip. And if this happens, then it's going to be actually very interesting because Apple can now thin even more the iMac because with better efficiency, you don't need as much cooling. Apple can keep the iMac even thinner, reduce the chin, which they need to reduce the bezels and the chin, and they could even make it smaller. But I don't think they will do it. I think they will keep the same M1 iMac design, but probably to give it even more performance. And call it, it's a little bit quieter now, and that's it. The fans don't turn on. They can even remove the fans if they want to. So I'm really excited to see which things they will improve. Probably new colors also for the M3 iMac and the M3 MacBook Air. The M3 MacBook Pro will keep the same silver and space gray. I think these are very interesting. WWDC will be filled with hardware, and I cannot even think about how exciting this event is going to be. But at the beginning of this video, I talked about the Mac Pro. And as you know, Apple always announces the Mac Pro on WWDC. So should we expect a Mac Pro, this WWDC 2023? Well, it makes sense to talk about the Mac Pro when talking about WWDC. And Apple actually themselves confirmed the existence of this Apple Silicon Mac Pro. And it's close, I can tell you, it's very close. But I'm not sure if Apple will announce it on WWDC and launch it later on the year. They could do it. And if they do, they will probably launch it with the M3 Ultra, not the M2 Ultra. I don't believe if Apple launches the M3 chip together on WWDC, they will launch an M2 Ultra Mac Pro on WWDC. I think they waited this long because now they want to give it the Mac Pro the M3 generation. And by doing so, giving it the M3 generation, they will give it even more performance and power. And finally, this M3 Ultra, the same generation of chips as the M1 Ultra present on the Mac Studio, will be a significant upgrade over the Mac Studio. Because, like I told you before, the M2 generation, to the same level of chips, will give it huge power jumps and huge efficiency jumps. Of course, the Mac Pro is not about efficiency, but if Apple wants to give it, like for example, 3-4 M3 Ultras, they will need a very efficient and very cool chip, because all of these chips together, if they end up getting too hot, then it's going to be a problem. So, yeah, I'm excited for the Mac Pro. It's probably going to keep the same design, give you external upgrades for memory, SSD maybe, and of course, give you the option to constantly upgrade the chips. For example, you can remove the M3 Ultra and put 2 M3 Ultras. Of course, you'll probably be able to remove the M3 Ultra and put more M3 Ultras, or buy external M3 Ultras and add those expansion cards. This is going to be very expensive, I expect, but also very cool to see and very, very Mac Pro-like. So yes, I think that's the problem that Apple will tackle with the Mac Pro. Give it expansion cards, just like they did with the 2019 Mac Pro. Then, of course, this Mac Pro is going to be expensive, probably starting at $8,000, going upwards to $20,000. So, if this is the type of computer for you, get excited. And so, if you do like these options for the Mac Pro, for example, expanding your performance later down the year, or even removing the M3 and put an M4 when Apple launches the M4 expansion cards, this is going to be the computer for you. I know modular Apple Silicon Mac doesn't seem likely, but I do think it's an option, and an option that Apple probably wants to explore. And so, the Mac Pro is not going to give you external GPUs, external CPUs, like you can interchange your CPUs, external RAM upgrades. It's not going to give you SSD upgrades. I don't think so. I think even that, Apple will change to just one single upgrade. The modular M3, M4, M5 expansion cards later down in the future. So I do believe this is the future of the Mac Pro on the Apple Silicon transition. Let me know in the comments below what you think. More things are to come. iOS 17, the Apple VR headset, WWDC is a compact, filled with hardware event. But don't forget, this is a software event. And so only iOS 17 and iPadOS 17, macOS, watchOS, and HomeOS are guaranteed to come out this WWDC. But let me know in the comments down below, what things do you want Apple to release this June 5 to be more specific. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. Also, don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel. This has been Tech Smart talking to you here. Bye bye.